Don't do it, guys. Don't place trades based on what you see here. Please consult your own financial advisors and do your own due diligence. All right, with that said, let's go. It is September 13th slash Friday morning, September 14th. We're going to talk about silver, uranium, Apple's options, and outlook for tomorrow, as well as a review, a real quick review of the portfolio. I am up about $85 from yesterday. As you can see, just a little bit of a pop up. This is the weekly chart. I was up to $33,766, but ended up at 715. What happened? The big moves today came from Apple. It went against me for the first time. Apple was up 2.42%, and therefore I lost 70% of my Apple short initial premium investment or gamble of $137, and it's currently worth, what is it worth? Well, I lost $96 of it, so it's worth 41. Not a lot, not a lot, but we do have a week to get down to 215 on the price of Apple. It did go against me. It is a pretty, excuse me, it is a pretty choppy action here though. These are pretty big moves. 2% moves for a big company like that are pretty big. So I don't know what to expect really. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, silver and gold were pretty flat. EXK was pretty flat. The rest of the mining sector was pretty flat, a little bit downward bias. What helped the gains today for me was just the markets were up, so that generally helps a little bit. With the rest of it, especially my emerging markets, they have a loose correlation. So they were up just a little bit. I have general dividend funds that are just a little bit up. Housing was just a tiny bit up. Oil was just a tiny bit up. The biggest move though came from uranium. Uranium. So we got UUUU posting up a 2% gain. URG up almost 6%. The URA, the ETF of uranium ETF is up 0.4. Chemical, a tiny bit of disappointment. I'm looking for it again to go over $10 so I don't have to buy it at $10. I've sold two put contracts that are expiring next week, next Friday. So chemical needs to climb up above $10 by then. If not, I will automatically purchase 200 shares of chemical at $10. But I'm not so nervous about that. If that does happen, I will just start selling calls against it. So I'm not nervous. Nope, not at all. Okay, maybe a little bit. If it starts dropping a lot, then losses are going to start adding up. But in any case, a little bit up on the portfolio. What I expect to happen tomorrow is more of the same. I'm going to have a fairly flat day as I'm having today. Maybe a tiny bit up. We'll figure it out. Um, I'm not expecting anything crazy to happen. Apple, what's my guess on Apple? Let's see. I think that it's had a nice run up here. It looks like an upward bias. I'm expecting it to just basically stay flat at this price here. I don't think much is going to happen. And maybe even have a downward bias towards the end of the day. And if that happens, that might be a good thing for me, because that could mean that next week could have a weakness, and hopefully it's more than a $15 weakness, so I can get my money back. But if this works out, obviously my plan of there being a sell-off at the end of the announcements was wrong. All of the announcement was priced in apparently into the stock. However, there may be some post-announcement reviewers that are setting in with their conclusions. They're settling with their conclusions, and maybe there would be a little bit of selling. So we'll see if I can make my money back on that put. If not, that's okay. I just have insurance for another week against Apple. No big deal. I lose that money. Still made more money on that first put, holding on to that $500 profit. So it's gonna be 350 now. Worth, worth. I just bought myself some insurance with it. Okay. Um, in other news, Switch. Oh, SSW. That's just the call. I saw the $10 doing well. It's doing all right. Um, the switch. This one is what I'm looking at. I'm really excited about. This one needs to go to $12. Switch does. It's at 11.21 right now. I had to update 2.5%. That's good news. That's good news. We need it to hit that $12 level so I can exit this damn stock. But you know what? If it keeps cruising at this price, I ain't gonna hate it. It's gonna be all right. I'm just gonna sell some more calls against it. It's gonna be fine. No big deal. NBD. All right, well, that's it for now. I don't have any big trades planned, but I will be thinking about it tomorrow over a nice cold Chavela, and that's a Mexican drink, beer and lime juice, basically, and some salt. It's good. You guys should try it if you're over the legal age limit in your designated living area. So that's about it, guys. I wish I didn't sell these. That's okay. Would have been raking in some dividends right now. No big deal. Mistakes happen. Live and learn. Well, by these, I mean these are just housing funds, like real estate funds. I had about $3,000 worth. It's okay. I picked up some China, about $500 of China. China. Okay, that's the weekly chart. Again, tomorrow I'm expecting more of the same, maybe a little pop and then a flattening off. Hopefully there's a downward bias, especially on Apple, so I can have some hope for this week. If there's an upward bias towards the end of the day, though, I'm most likely screwed and I lose that money. No trade ideas at the moment. Zero, none, zilch. With that said, we're done. Peace out.